I finished with an ATAR of 97.95. It was my first ever biology assessment. Got the marks back and I got like 30%.
Yeah.
And it just felt like I was like, okay, this is different. Like something needs to change. I watched the first video. I was like, this is just a course. You'll sell something. It's one of those like, the only thing I could link it to is like one of those get rich quick schemes. I was like, I'll give it a try. This is probably more valuable than tutoring because tutoring can just teach you from a book. Held back was that fear of like, I had to let go of like, well, not ego, but like the idea of like, it is okay to ask for help.
How much time did it actually take you per week?
You're only adding like an hour a day. You know, there's nothing more painful than getting towards the end and going, oh, I wish I did this. Oh, I wish I did something differently. Just make the leap. Go for it. Because like, you could try it. It may not work. You'll be 100% better off giving it a go.
All right, hold up.
All good.
All right. Can you say your name and the state that you're in?
So my name is Braeden and I am in New South Wales.
Nice, man. I'd love to have you back here. You're one of the students that I really, felt connection to, especially since that like the time you joined the program, the transformation was very quick. Like looking back, like yeah, man, awesome. Let's jump into this interview. All right. So can you tell me if you had to summarize your academic comeback journey in just one sentence, what would you say? Like use the template. I went from this to that.
So I think I went from initially doing really well prior to year 12, then finding like I had a bit of a roadblock going into, some of the harder topics. And I went from struggling at the start of year 12 to ending up, finishing my HSC with a mark that I never thought I was actually, not that I didn't think I was going to get it, but like a mark that I was very impressed with. So
Yeah, man. Beautiful. And can you just let us know what did you finish with? What was the
So I finished with an ATAR of 97.95, which was way
damn, bro.
above.
That gives me freaking goosebumps, bro. That's so good. Can you tell me, man, before you joined Ducks Academy, right? So you joined in year 12. What were your marks like before joining?
So initially, I remember I finished year 11 going, from prelims. I did quite well in prelims. Started year 12 confidence. It was my first ever biology assessment and I got the marks back. I was confident, got the marks back and I got like 30%.
Yeah.
And it just felt like I was like, okay, this is different. Like something needs to change. And I wasn't happy with it at the time. So yeah, need to reach out.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Beautiful. So I think from memory, like before you joined the program, like you were having some subjects where you're doing well, and then some subjects were just like way below average, like 30%. Some you did okay, like 50, 60. Is that right? Because I know
Yeah, so
before you joined, there were some subjects that you were pretty good in.
Yeah, so for my English-based subjects, I did. I think they were fine. Obviously, I undertook extension to English. Was doing fine in that. It was my maths, my bio, my investigating science. Oh, investigating science was okay. Like it was essentially maths and bio where I felt like I hit something like I couldn't overcome it at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Got you. And what were you struggling with most when you joined the program? Like, was it not knowing how to study, lack guidance? Because you said yourself, you hit a roadblock.
Yeah.
Like, what were you struggling with most?
Yeah, I think like you said, like I just didn't know what to do. I felt like I'd spent so long before going into year 12, just being able to teach myself and just guide myself along the way. And then it felt like I just didn't have like when I felt like I stuck, it didn't have anything to push me along. Like I didn't have some form of structure to actually apply to my study. So
Yeah.
it was lacking that it was just lacking the structure, just lacking something to push me along the way.
Yeah, 100%. And can you tell me, like, because obviously, again, if you look at the time frame, right, like when you joined the program, up until that point, like you were just doing everything yourself, everything was okay. But I wanted to know, like, what was the lowest point where you thought to yourself, bro, I need to fix this now? Like, what really made you like, because to go from like trying to figure out yourself to now reaching out to me and joining a program like this, like something might, like, what was that point?
It would have to be that biology assessment. Like I remember going into it, I finished year 11 bio, like a mark of an A and everything. I was like, yep, perfect. We'll go into this one. And then sat down during the exam. I was like, okay, I've done what I called study. I look at it and it wasn't. I look at it now and it wasn't. But I thought, this will be fine. And I got my marks back and I saw, people that I would like easily beat were like way above me. And I was like, right, like this is not like, so I cannot finish, like I can't have the one year that it actually matters where it starts to like, just descent. So I had to find something to do. So
Yeah. No, I love that. I love something about you. Just I have to say in front of the channel. I know it might be glazing, but something I really appreciate about you is that, bro, from the minute you joined the program, you were like an immediate action taker. And what I wanted to know was, like before joining the program, what were the other things that you tried? Like, did you try tutoring, YouTube videos, studying harder, or did you just like like go straight from like, you know what, nah, I'm just gonna straight away?
So I think overall, my version of like studying, I thought it worked and it did work for as long as like up until it actually mattered. Yeah, like I tried just using, online sources, resources I could find, trialed a couple tutoring places, but like none of it really felt personalized.
Mm.
And then I remember I was doing the worst thing to do. I was just doom scrolling one day and came across one of your videos. And I was like, okay, might as well give it a shot. And yeah,
Damn, man. That's wow. The doom scrolling led to
yeah.
something great. Awesome. When you first, so you just said, you're scrolling on, Instagram and TikTok, whatever, you came across me. I want to know, like, when you first heard about Dux Academy in the program, like, did you look at that and be like, this seems like skeptical, doesn't make sense, or like, or did you kind of have any,
I mean,
suspicions?
yeah, to be fair, I watched the first video. I was like, this is just a course. This is just, you'll sell something, you'll do a video or two, and you'll be like, yeah, like it's one of those like, the only thing I could link it to is like one of those get rich quick schemes. But like,
Yeah.
I was like, but at the same time, I was like, I'll give it a try. And
Yeah.
glad I did because it was nothing like that. It felt personalized. It felt like I wasn't just, a number or like just a figure that they can cash in on. And it actually helped me. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Awesome, man. That makes me so happy. That's so good. And what made you? Because this is something very important. The reason why we do student interviews like this is because sometimes some students who are in your position or were in your position, something like they often hold themselves back, right?
Yeah.
Not from joining, just in changing in general, right? So what I want to know, just so you can share some insight, like what almost made you not join? Was it like were you scared that you want to work? Were you scared that what maybe I don't have the ability to do it, or did you just like were you just locked in and just ready to go?
I will admit, like I was a little bit skeptical. Like I do remember when we were going to schedule the call, like I did like push it out as long as I could. And I think the reason was just, I was afraid at the start, but I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to study math. Going into year 12, I was like, my grades are there. I thought I had like, what it took to at least get to that place. It just felt like I never really like needed to rely on anything else before. Like I'd always found a way to do it. So I think held back was that fear of like I had to let go of like not ego, but like the idea of like it is okay to ask for help, especially like a lot of people I see on the community page is they are a little bit afraid to like share, a little bit afraid to put themselves out there because it is scary,
Mhm.
It's scary because it's easier to just be like, to yourself and go like, I'll figure it out. But there are people that are able to help and yeah.
No, man, that's exactly what I asked that question because you literally just nailed that on the head. One of the biggest people have, especially people who are not doing well, you were right. It is actually all ego. It's like, oh, but like, why do I need someone else to help? Like, why can't I just do it myself? Like, it's just the ego thing, right? So the fact that you were able to kind of overcome that and get inside, I mean, that's like a lesson that anyone can learn from, right? And what about your parents? From memory, speaking to your mom, she was like the most supportive person and she
Yeah.
was ready to get you started straight away. But were your parents worried about anything at all, or were they just there to kind of?
I think at the start, like I remember, like they never really worried too much about my grades because, like I'd always said, "Yeah, I've got it covered. I got it covered." Obviously, they were a little bit worried because continuing on that trend, every time we had a parent-teacher interview, the teachers would always say, "Oh yeah, he does well, but he never asks for help. Like he always tries to." And I think going into that, I remember talking to my parents, and they're like, if we do this, are you actually going to use it, or is it just going to sit on your laptop and you're going to check it once a day, or you're going to? I was like, no, like they were very supportive of it, and
Yeah.
they're very glad it paid out at the end. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I think that is, even outside, my parents, it's just the support.
Yeah,
So
100%. Beautiful, man. And take us back to when you first joined. What were the first changes that you made in like how you studied or just about school, just in general? Like, what were some of the first thing that you changed? Where like it's like, wow, okay, now I can kind of see the progress.
well, for starters, I actually had something to do when I got home. Like
Mm.
beforehand, like obviously I did football, I did tennis, I did like co-curricular stuff outside of school. So it would always be like, I wouldn't really know where to study or when to study due to the fact that like I'd always have stuff going on and it felt like I didn't have anything like actually able to drive me through it. And the biggest thing I found was if I didn't have a plan, I wouldn't do it. Like I'd be like, oh, I'll start it tomorrow. Like, cause like I'll write it down tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never came.
Yeah, yeah,
What I found is it gave me something it was on my laptop, it was just on my desktop, and every single day, every single morning before I, even at school, just I got to check on it, got to see, okay, what do I need to do? I can go through the modules that were there, I can use the resources that were there. It gave me something to link back to where, even if I wasn't solely relying on, like the community itself, it gave me something to go like, okay, how do I implement what I've already been doing over the last
mm,
couple is and actually make it productive rather than just, oh, I'll just, I'll do it for a couple of minutes now and I'll be like, it actually made
Yeah.
me want to study.
Yeah, 100%. So I think what I'm getting from this is that the biggest thing was just clarity, just like knowing what to actually do, which is that's
Exactly.
like an underrated thing. Like people don't understand that. Like if you just knew what to do, like it's actually not that hard to do the things. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's good to see. And out of everything inside the program, what do you feel like helped you the most? Was it the modules in the videos? Was it the calls? Was it the accountability? Was it the community? Was it the fact that you could like ask me any questions whenever you want? Like what really kind of helped you the most?
It was 100% the community. But like the modules gave you the content, it gave you the little ways of like how to actually study. The calls obviously were insightful. It actually made it feel like we weren't just stuck on a page and just like doing like you would go off and watch us all to like work it out. It
Yeah.
actually felt like we were able to talk to someone. Like if you ask a question, it was going to get answered, or if you posted something, saying, "Oh, I got my marks back." It felt like people actually weren't like were cheering you on as well, and that was gave me a bit more drive. It's I'm finding it hard to actually put it in words because like that actually changed my mindset. It just felt like you actually wanted to get it done because it felt like people were like on your side and wanting to like
Yeah, man.
to the push
That's a
it through.
very yeah, man, that's a very big thing. The very big thing is that like just knowing that, you know what, like I actually have people here who are trying to help me, if something goes bad, can get back up. So yeah, that's a big thing. Most students when I do interviews like this or just like text them, they say, yeah, the community and the feel of it really. It's like it feels like, all right, let's go, let's do this. You know what I mean? So that's awesome, man. And some people think that in order for you to make a comeback and achieve success and do a program like this, you need to be sacrificing all your life. So what I want to know is from your perspective, how much time did it actually take you per week to actually implement these modules and do the program? Like, how much were you doing per day? Like, what was it looking like for you?
No, I was just like on top of what I was originally doing, which wasn't much, but I was only doing like, half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the night on average, like that'd be a normal day. Going into when I was actually like, going into the end periods when you actually start studying more, it would be more like, okay, you'd be, using the modules more, you'd be sending pieces of writing out to the community, getting that information back. So I'd say realistically, you're only adding like an hour a day, not even like
Yeah, yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
depending on depending on how much you actually like how long you're actually using it an hour a day.
Yeah, look at that. Like, oh my goodness, man. Like, you won't believe it. Sometimes people think like they think it's like, oh my goodness, there's so much to do and all that. But literally every single student in the program succeeded. They only put like an hour a day, 30 minutes a day. Like it's not much. But the difference is that the information you're getting and what you're doing is like actually the right thing. So it's not much time. And then, you know what I mean? So this shows you that there's like no excuses at all. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's good to see, man. All right, let's talk about the juicy stuff now. Okay. So you said before Dux Academy, your marks were all over the place. Sometimes we're getting 30s, sometimes we're getting 50s, sometimes you're getting good, sometimes bad, blah, blah, all over the place. What about now? What did you graduate? What marks did you get across all your subjects?
So I got 95 for English Advanced. I got 97 for Investigating Science, 48 out of 50 for Extension 1 English, 49 out of 50 for Extension 2 English, 93 out of 100 for Biology, and 92 out of 100 for Math Standard.
Damn.
So big improvement, big improvement.
Bro, that is insane. My man went from 30% in bio to 90 freaking, oh my goodness, man. That is insane. Well done, bro. And just to remind us, you got a 97.95 ATAR. What are you studying right now in university?
So I was annoyed because I did miss out on doing a Doctor of Dental Medicine at UCID because that was 99. Currently doing a Bachelor of Clinical Science at Macquarie and then going to be doing the GAMSAT and then going off and doing a Doctor of Dental Medicine at UCID.
Nice, beautiful, man. I personally, kind of controversial. I personally rather that path because like you get so much more maturity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna by the time you get into UCID, it's like you're a different guy. You know what I mean? So that's awesome. And what result are you most proud of? Like, yeah.
I think obviously I'm biased. I want to say extension to English. That's just simply because like that was my baby. My major work, it was actually due like the day after my 18th. So I remember like I loved creative writing. I loved, putting in that effort, putting in the work, having my teachers, passively aggressively emailing me saying to send drafts in and just finally finally submitting it, finally getting my marks back and seeing that it actually like, because like that's all I wanted to do. Like I loved my other subjects and it may not have been my like highest mark in the subject, but it was like the whole reason I actually wanted to do it, and I even told my teachers that is I didn't really care about the mark then. I just wanted to see what I was capable of doing. Like it
Yeah.
was the accumulation of everything I've done in English throughout my entire high school life, my entire tertiary education to see what could I actually be capable of. And I got it back and couldn't be more happy. So
Yeah, beautiful, man. Super, super proud of you, bro. It's insane. And just for context, now he's working a part of Ducks Academy as a mentor, English mentor too. So yeah, that's an absolutely valuable thing. And outside of marks,
yeah,
what's different in your life now? Because a major part of Ducks Academy, right, as you know, you've gone through the program, I really believe in is it's not like getting the marks and ATAR and it's all that, it's all cool and stuff. Yeah, it is what it is. But in my personal opinion, the most important thing is like who you become at the end of it, right? So, what is different now in your life, now that you've actually gone through the program, in terms of your confidence, in terms of your stress, in terms of being like an independent person? Like, what's different now?
I think it actually, like, and even outside the program, it gave me an idea of what does, what do you need to do in life to actually like feel productive, and rather than just like feel like life just pulling you behind. So what I learned is like, obviously I'm working for Ducks Academy now, but I still use, what I learned. I still use, like, it's easier to actually get it done when you have a structure, because it feels like, most of the time it feels so like you feel lethargic, you feel lazy when you go like, you don't have an idea of what you're doing. It's a Saturday night or a Saturday afternoon. You're like, oh, I don't want to start it. It'll take too long. It'll take hours. I don't just. All I learned from it was just write it down.
Yeah,
Right. Make a structure, make a plan, make a realistic plan as well. Don't say I'm going to do 10 hours of this. I'm going
yeah,
to give myself 5 minute break. No, like, but it gave me the idea. Not gave me the idea. It gave me the insight that if you have a structure, everything just becomes simple.
yeah,
Everything becomes manageable. I think that's the main thing. Everything becomes manageable.
yeah,
Nothing possible until like it feels too hard, it feels impossible at the time, but if you actually like have a structure, it just becomes easy, it becomes easy
yeah,
to
yeah.
understand how to do it. I think that's the biggest thing.
100%, man, 100%. And if a student, and this is really, really important, right? Because there's going to be students watching this
Yeah,
and, they're going to be like you, they're going to be kind of in the crossroads of like, I really want to do really well, but I feel like I have doubts and all that stuff. So if a student like old you is watching, Braden version one before the program, what would you say to them? What advice would you give someone who is like your old self?
I think that, yeah, I just tell them it's never, you'd rather start early than wait and like regret it. There's nothing more painful than getting towards the end and going, oh, I wish I did this. Oh, I wish I did something differently. Just make the leap. Go for it. Because like you could try it, it may not work, but you'll be 100% better off giving it a go than just, sitting there by yourself, being afraid, going, oh, well, it will get better tomorrow. It will get better tomorrow with no actual guide on how to
Yeah.
actually
Wow,
learn.
bro. That is very deep. That is very deep. Yeah, and like it's crazy. You're really good at like nailing it, man. Because one of the biggest things that hold people back from changing themselves, from doing a program like this, even it's like, oh, but like, what if this happens, or like, what if that happens, or like,
Yeah.
but what you're saying is just, bro, just do it. Like even if things didn't work out, it's like at least you won't regret it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's awesome, man. And finally, obviously there's parents also play a big role, because the thing is, right, like, and look, I can't blame them because no one really like tells them this stuff, but a lot of parents, what they do is they just blindly take kids to tutoring, chuck them in there, nothing improves, they're like, well, I don't know what's happening, and they just kind of step back. So like this whole Ducks Academy thing is a new concept. Like
Yeah.
tutoring's been around for so long, but like people don't really understand the concept of like learning how to study, fixing yourself, all that stuff. So if a student's parents were watching this and maybe they're scared to take a step like this of joining this program, or trying something new, what would you say to a parent?
I'd say if it was genuinely like if your child is struggling like purely on content, tutoring is valuable. But a lot of the time you can, like, obviously there are circumstances where you need tutoring, but most, if it is a thing more of like a little bit of confidence, or like, if, because that's the other thing is like if they don't know where to start. Or I think one of the things I've seen is people don't start because they're, if they take that first step, they're, one step closer to the end. And that can either be what they want, or, the thing that they don't want, the thing, like the ending that like they're afraid of. So, you know, tutoring is valuable, but if you have something like this, that is, someone that can guide you, a community that can guide you, and keep you accountable, keep you on track, keep your head, when you start to spiral, make sure they start to pull your head and go like, it's okay, like, you can do this. We're all, you're not alone. And yeah, I think this is more that I wouldn't. This is probably more valuable than tutoring, because tutoring can just teach you from a book. They can teach you from, just what they tell every other student. But
Mhm.
this is something that you can't just learn from, from a book or from a
Yeah.
resource. It is the most valuable
Yeah,
resource.
100%, man. I love to hear that. And just for context for everyone watching this, Braden literally does tutoring. He's not saying tutoring is bad. I'm saying I've never said it's bad, by the way. It's just that, like you said, man, tutoring's for content. But what do you do when you don't know what to do and you don't know where to start? That's where this program comes in. Yeah, because like you're true to yourself, right? You see the impact it has, right? But when you see someone who doesn't know what they're doing, it's like, okay, well, I can't really, that's not your like
Yeah.
your job, right? You're focusing on the content,
Yeah.
right? So 100%, man. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Braden, for this interview. I'm sure this is going to inspire a lot of students, man, because honestly, all it takes sometimes is just for someone to see someone else like you be like, okay, if this guy could go from 30% to 97 plus ATAR, it's like, well, what's different? You know what I mean? Like, I can do this myself, man. So honestly, I want to appreciate you and thank you for doing this interview and I wish you the best. In the future, hopefully, I'll be calling you Dr. Braden. Is that right?
Hopefully, we'll have to. It's a long journey, but we'll make it. So,
Awesome, man. Awesome. All right. Catch you soon and thank you so much.
all good. Take care.